first rates will just start kicking in on your screen. It's all about banks, banks and banks and banks. And the reason why I'm saying it's all about banks is because in last 2 days, banks have made a roaring comeback. You want to start with ICICI Bank. Let's zero in from ICICI Bank to State Bank of India. Let's see how exactly State Bank of India is moving ahead of the numbers. IT and Pharma, typically they tend to move in and around ahead of US elections, but that's not the crucial moot point for the day. The crucial moot point for the day has to be banks from a local standpoint. I want to particularly relook at the auto numbers because auto companies have made a comeback and they made a strong comeback. Bear in mind that in last 2 days, this market has in a sense moved directionally very differently. Private banks have made a comeback. Reliance has got completely chopped and Nifty is still holding on. And I think that is something which you need to emphasize. And I cannot emphasize the importance of that enough, because if we are indeed at a turn, then will IT-Pharma underperform and will banks really make a comeback? That is something which is an important monitorable, and that is something which really needs to be done. Aisha?
Quickly refresh my screen and tell you what are the liquid movers like. Godrej Properties in the red right now. UPL is down. Idea, BOB, Havells are taking a bit of a breather. PVR has seen quite a bit of spurt. It's holding up 6.5%. You've got Sun Pharma, which is up by about 3%. Muthoot Finance is holding out well. Tech M as well as Adani Ports are your other big winners today. ICICI Bank, after 2 days of a heady run-up, has taken a bit of a pause. So has Axis. That's marginally lower, and I say marginally because it's less than 1% a downtick coming in. Bharti has started off flattish. ITC and Reliance, a flat start. Seems like at least the selling is somewhat getting stalled, but I don't know. Early days yet. You don't know which way this is going to head. SBI ahead of its numbers, holding up 0.5%. HDFC Bank holding out. And L&T as well is holding out. It's an iffy start, Nikunj. While the headline number is okay, 11,845 thereabouts, but I think even our markets are only going to heave a sigh of relief once you do have a clear mandate from US elections.
You know, that's a positioning which matters in the short term, Aisha, but you would ask frankly that how will things change for a company? How will life change for a State Bank of India? How will life change for a Britannia? What will change in the life of Asian Paints irrespective of who the US president is, and what will happen to the control of Senate? Yes, there would be medium-term implications on the trade front, on the Fed front. IT-Pharma, again, they are global sectors. Things would change on the manufacturing aspect. Things would change on the China front. Things could change. Things may not change. You don't know. Big tech, what happens there? We don't know. Irrespective of who the next president is, we've seen that there is no standard correlation in the last 6 or 7 elections which tell you that whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans, what has happened to Dow in 1 month and 3 months. There are examples where we can look at the Democrats' tenure and talk about how markets have moved. Similarly, if I start dissecting data, I can look at the Republican tenure and talk about what has happened to markets. We've seen cases where, unfortunately, during the Republican tenure, 2008 happened, 9/11 happened, so those numbers look very subdued. During the Clintons' time, one of the biggest boom, which is in 2000, actually happened in TMT. So, you know, we like to slice and dice these data points as per our convenience, but in the short term, what really matters at an individual level, which companies are growing, which companies are likely to grow irrespective of the environment and irrespective of the political landscape. And I think COVID is a polite reminder of that how big has got bigger, how efficiency has kicked in, how relevance and domination, these are the words which in a sense which companies have adopted. They've really emerged as winners. So short term, yes, there are hedge funds, there are technical aspects, there is market positioning, markets were preparing for a blue wave. If a blue wave is not there, then it will lead to some kind of a skirmish. I'm using the word skirmish here, and that is something which cannot be ruled out. But will the US Fed stop stimulating the economy? No. Will there be a loose monetary policy? Yes. Will inflation remain low? Yes. If these factors are at play, irrespective of the US president, then I don't think from a market standpoint, barring this technical adjustment, which may happen, which may not happen, I don't think we should worry.